welcome to my channel. So today's video is going to be a weekend in the kitchen with me. So I'm going to take you through and show many of the meals that I made for myself and for my family. And then also I'm going to show you some meal prep for the work week ahead. So I really hope you enjoyed today's video, and make sure you subscribe if you would like to stick around and see my future videos. And let's get into this weekend in the kitchen. All right, so we are going to get started with making some sourdough bread and bagels. So I have this video sectioned off into the different sections of things that I've made. And so this first section is going to be bread and bagels and things related to that. So every weekend I like to make a couple of loaves of sourdough, one loaf to keep in our pantry fresh for a couple of days, and then the other loaf I put in the freezer to just take slices out when we need it. Or if I'm making spaghetti, I like to have garlic bread, things like that. And I really have enjoyed making my own bread. It is just so calming to me, and it's a lot easier than I thought it would be to make my own bread. So I really enjoy it. And so here I'm just shaping my loaves. And this is a 2-day process, so I can really only do it on the weekends because I don't have time during the work week to do this. So it's just something extra special on the weekends I like to do for myself, and I like being able to make fresh bread for my family. It brings me a lot of excitement and joy. So this is some bagel dough that I made the night before, and this is my second time making bagels. They are so easy to make. I think the hardest part is just like shaping them, and it's a couple of steps in the process, but basically you just make the dough the night before, and then the next morning, so it's hands off until the next morning, and then the next morning you have to do your shaping of the bagels, do a couple of small rises, like 30-minute rises. You boil them, and then you go ahead and you just bake them. So I made some Asiago bagels. So again, same with the sourdough, I'll keep a couple of fresh in the pantry, and then the majority of them are going to go in the freezer so we can just take them out when we need them throughout the week. And I need to get some more honey because mine is completely crystallized. But yeah, these bagels were amazing. I'll link the recipe that I used down below. Next up, we have some sourdough banana bread. So I don't put sourdough in every single thing. It might seem like it, but I had some discard to use up. So I went ahead and made the sourdough discard banana bread. It was really good. So I will put the recipe down below. So this next section, I don't normally take the time to do this every single weekend or after I do my grocery shop, but I'm trying it because I'm trying to see if it helps me waste less food, in particular waste less produce. So I went ahead and took all the produce, or most of the produce that I bought for the week, and washed it and prepared it in a way that if I'm using in a recipe, I can easily just take it out and chop it if I need it in smaller amounts. But everything's already washed, and then we have plenty of snacks. We have carrot sticks, celery sticks, grapes, and I think that this really will help us just use what we have in the fridge versus, having a couple things go bad here and there. I would like to try to avoid that, because when you're throwing away produce or throwing away groceries, you're literally just wasting money. And I don't want to waste money in that way. So I'm really trying to be better about it. And I think just preparing it, getting everything washed and ready is the best way that you can avoid that. I'm putting my veggie scraps in a bag and just storing it in the freezer so that I can make veggie broth whenever my bag is full. I've never made veggie broth, but it seems pretty easy to do in the Instapot, so I'm going to give that a try because it's a way to be a little bit less wasteful and also save a little money since the scraps would just be going in the garbage anyways. Next up, I'm making some chia jam, and this is really nutritious. It's really easy to make, and it's really affordable to make. So I'm taking 2 cups of frozen berries. You can use fresh if you want. And then I'm taking 1 tablespoon of chia seeds after all the berries are cooked down and mashed. I'll put the 1 tablespoon of chia seeds in there, mix it together, put it in a jar with an airtight lid or airtight seal, and store it in the fridge for up to a week. And I love this. I use it on oatmeal, I use it on toast, and I also make this for my youngest. While we have the chia seeds out, I'm making some protein chia seed pudding. So I will put the recipe down below for how I made this. It's just an easy, high protein option to have in the fridge for the week as a snack, or if I wanted it for breakfast or dessert. Next up, we have some dinner recipes. So I'm making 2 different recipes, and the first night with this sheet pan meal, I actually made 2 of them because I made one for the meal prep since I was basically using the same ingredients. So I'm making a brat sheet pan meal. So I cut up some sweet potatoes and some pepper, and then I also onion. I forgot about onion. And then I put this in a bowl. I put some oil on it, some seasonings, and then after I just seared my brats in a cast iron, I put them all in a sheet pan, and then I poured the vegetables around it, had a head of garlic, and I put some oil and salt on there, and then I baked that in the oven on 450, I think for around 25 minutes or until the brats were cooked through. And this was really good. So this is the one that we had for dinner on Saturday night. I had it with some rice. And then the next sheet pan you're going to see me make, I made for my meal prep for lunches for the work week. And I changed up the vegetables a little bit. I put some Brussels sprouts, and then same process, cooked it the same way. These both turned out really, really good. Next up, we have some sourdough pizzas. So I had discard use up, so I made some sourdough pizza crust. And I had to do this the night before, so I made this the night before and let it sit out for about 8 hours and then put it in the fridge until we were ready to bake it on Sunday night. So this is me just making the dough, and then we use Rao's, however you pronounce it, marinara sauce. I have never made my own marinara sauce, but I really, really like that brand, and the ingredients are good on it too. So I'm just rolling out my dough, gonna top it with the marinara sauce, and then I have some cheese that I shredded. And then the first pizza that I'm making here is for our oldest, and then my husband and I, we made a pizza for ourselves. So I like to make these pizzas in the cast iron because they get really thick and kind of like deep dish almost, and the crust bubbles up really nicely. So these are really good. And then on the crust, I like to do like a garlic butter. So I just melt some butter, parsley, garlic, and salt, and then I spread that around. And then I sprinkled it with a little salt, and then I baked these in the oven on 475 until they were done, around 15 minutes for the smaller one, and then the larger one took around 20 minutes. So we enjoyed this with the salad, and this was a really good Sunday night dinner. Sundays are my favorite day for making breakfast because I'm not eating something that's already prepared. I get to make some type of meal for my family, and I really love this part about Sundays. So today I had some potatoes to use and some green pepper to use up. So I went ahead and just diced those pretty small and baked them in the air fryer in a cast iron for, I would say, I think like 20 minutes. And then I put the bacon on top and I let that finish cooking on there. And then I made a couple of fried eggs and had this with an orange on the side. This was really good. I really prefer a savory breakfast most of the time, so this was right up my alley for breakfast. That is all I have for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more of my future videos.